Hey guys, so I know some of you are probably wondering why I haven't talked at all about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I have on the collab channel, but I wanted to give it a second episode before I talked about it here on my personal channel, because I think it's really important to give a show more than the first episode, and I know a lot of people are really having a hard time with how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is currently going. I personally really like it. Not all of the jokes are funny. Some of them are, but I think shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have to come into their own, and it is going to take a couple of episodes before we really get to see what's going to happen. Because, especially with something as huge a franchise as Marvel is, we really need to accept that not all shows are going to be great from the beginning. For example, Dollhouse took 6 episodes. Once upon a time, I didn't necessarily like the show after the first episode, so I gave it a couple of more. The Walking Dead, I had to do the same thing. I had to really get into the show before I could commit to watching it. And the same goes for pretty much any of the other shows that I've talked about here on my vlog, because I think it's tough to base a show off of one episode. It's even tougher to still just continue to base it off of 2. And you have to wait for a show to really decide its direction. And yeah, people say, well, shows should have an idea of their direction from the pilot. And I think the tough part is that not all shows know if they're going to get beyond the pilot. Not all shows know if they're going to get a full season, or if they're only getting half a season, or even less than that, or between a first full season and, a half of one. So I think it's really difficult to judge a show. For the most part, I actually thoroughly enjoy it. I am not too keen on some of the characters just yet, because I think it's tough with, and I've read this in a lot of places, that a lot of people find the cast to be too pretty. And while that might be true, I think in a lot of ways it's just an issue with casting. And yeah, they could have certainly broadened the cast out a bit more and made it more full of people of color. But granted, Ming-Na is fantastic. I have no complaints about her. Her character, Mei, is pretty fantastic. That I am so excited for when we get to hear more about her character and everything that's happened so far. And we've gotten a little bit of backstory to Phil Coulson, but at the same time, we know that the Phil Coulson that we're interacting with in this show has been, as termed on the interwebs, shielded, meaning we don't know what's actually happened to him. He keeps talking about being in Tahiti. We don't know if he's a life model decoy or what he is, but we're still getting that same feel, and it's good to me that we're getting a different look at the Marvelverse, but more through the eyes of the average person. And by average, I mean people without superpowers. So anyway, if you've been watching Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. And stay excellent, and don't forget to be awesome.